Alright, welcome back. In this episode I'm going to be restoring these Tom's Racing Vestas. These are pretty cool wheels. They were produced by Tom's for only a couple years in the 90s for the Celicas and the MR2s, the first gens. So I had these things machined out for a hub-centric ring, so that should allow me to run these without any wobbling whatsoever. But they look gross and they need to be the same color white as this 1990 Civic Si. So I'm going to be stripping them and respraying them. So let's do it. Well, I was doing this in the rain yesterday. This was the last wheel I put stripper on, so you can see the stripper didn't really get to where there was a puddle of water. So, round two. Alright, so it's several months later. It's finally warm enough to paint. We're going to prime these puppies with self-etching paint. It's important that you use self-etching on bare aluminum if you really want to get good adhesion. So, yeah, let's do it. Alright, these look pretty good. There's a couple little flaws still in here. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to run this again and then just hit this very edge of the rim with a file just to get rid of a couple of these little dings and stuff, because anything you can see is always going to show up in paint. So I want to get this thing as perfect as I can. Alright, so I've been sanding this thing with the car moving. But one thing I can't do is get down into all these pockets to sand. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make my own tool. This is just a sanding pad from 3M or whatever. And this is a multi-tool, and this blade is smoked. So what I'm going to try and do is cut a piece that fits in here kind of nice, and then I'm going to drill some holes in here and bolt this sanding pad onto this guy. So let's see if it works. Alright, so I just finished sanding this one. It took me a few tries. I needed kind of more of a wedge shape to get into the corners there. So that's all sanded, and then I also sanded inside these. I just used a piece of sanding pad wrapped in sandpaper and just jammed it in there. But yeah, these are pretty close to being ready to be sealed. Now I just need to do all this to the other three wheels, so time-lapse time. Alright, so before I paint these, I'm going to seal them with primer sealer, just because there is some putty and stuff on here. Basically, it'll make sure the paint has a really even finish. Right now I'm just wiping off the surface with a tack cloth. Alright, today is the day where I'm finally going to be respraying these crazy rare Tom's wheels. This video has probably been pretty boring so far, but this is where the payoff is. Over here I have some tack cloth, some paint prep wipes. I'm using PPG Omni paint. This is kind of a value brand or sub-brand of PPG, but supposedly it's pretty good. 8 to 1 to 1, so we're going to be using 8 parts this to 1 part that to 1 part that. Got the strainers here, got a mixing cup, got the mixing sticks, and got the PPE. So it is time, boys. Let's do it! Alright, the wheels were sprayed. It was really hard to try to keep the paint even and still get an even coverage in all those little nooks and crannies. Welcome back, boys. My name's Rob. This is Sarah. In this video, it's going to be centered around my 1990 Honda Civic Si. This was like a bucket list car for me, and it popped up a few years ago locally for a good deal. It's pretty unmolested, other than it has some Koni and ground control suspension in it, but other than that, it's pretty much all stock. If you want to see the first episode on that, click up here. I want to preface this by saying this video is probably one of the longest in the making videos ever that I've ever made, because I picked these wheels up 4 or 5 years ago. I found them. He
actually helped justify buying the car by saying these wheels will fit it that have been sitting here.
Yeah, I'm really excited. This is probably the rarest set of wheels I own, and we're going to finally mount them on the car. I am so excited. Again, I've had these wheels for like 4 or 5 years. I restored them last year specifically for this car, and I finally got them mounted and balanced. Thanks, Jason. And we're gonna throw them on here, and I can't wait. I'm so excited.
He's been hopping around with excitement.
So these are the wheels that came with my Civic. These are stock CRX SI wheels, and I'm running Ohatsu FP7000 tires. These tires are $43 each on Vulcan Tire, and I can't believe they're this cheap. They're really sticky. I don't know, if you really need cheap tires, these are awesome tires. I've had them on a few cars.
Woo! First looks.
Oh my god, I am so geeked on how this turned out. This has turned out, I would say, not better than expectations, but pretty much exactly what I was looking for. So it doesn't look too obnoxious. It looks kind of OEM plus. The paint match came out great. I'm so geeked. So I think it's time, after getting these on here and looking at them for 4 years, to go shoot some video with the Skydio. So let's do it. Alright, if you guys learned anything, leave a comment and a like. I'm not really sure what the next steps for this thing is, but if I see a deal on a B16 or something, I think I'm gonna do it. Because I am so geeked, boys. Look at that. Oh my God, I'm just smiling every time I see this thing. So, till next time.